you. Your life goal should be to support us. You know why? I will give up everything I have to serve you. I don't care. I have a pregnant wife at home. I live in Los Angeles, and I have a pregnant wife. Guess what? I left her to come up here to serve you. Mothers are going through things, and we left everything at home to serve you.
That's right.
That is the type of leadership that you should want. But guess what? You don't want this. You know why? Because you're a sinner. You are a sinner and a hypocrite. You hate us. You know why you hate us? Because we are a mirror. We are a reflection of what you cannot do. The reason why you don't want to be us, because we inflict on your freedom. You think the laws that we have over here conflicts with your freedom, and guess what? It hurts you. It burns you. It makes you think that, man, I really could be these guys, but I don't want to sacrifice my life to be what they are. Guess what? I sacrifice my life every day to do this. I'm told I'm crazy, and all I'm doing instead of blacks and Hispanics, I'm broke. Right. All I'm doing instead of blacks and Hispanics to have a two-parent household. All I'm doing in my life is wanting to better this earth. I hate cigarette smokers. I hate people who smoke. You know why? Because I care about the ozone layer. I care about the earth. That's right. You know what's funny? I think about it all the time. You scorn me for telling homosexuals they should not be homosexuals. Who cares about homosexuals more? Me or you? I do. Because the lifestyle that they live does not produce anything. Right. The lifestyle that a homosexual live, it turns them down. He's going to die being a homosexual. And guess what? You promote it. So who really hates homosexuals? You or me? I don't. I care about them so much, I tell them to stop doing what they're doing. Why? Because I want them to make it to the kingdom of heaven. You don't. You love hell. You love it here. If you are a sinner, if you are a hypocrite, you love America. You love this place. This place bleeds for you. You're ready to die for this place. You're ready to die for sin. Guess what? You will.
I reckon, hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Barakatah. For the ones that have not seen this lecture, I recommend everybody go watch this lecture. That's Commander General Hana, the main head of the ISUPK, the leader of all blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, all 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. I'm pretty sure you can find this video on the Chicago channel. It's a podcast called The Round Table of Truth. I recommend everybody tuning into that podcast as well. This video is really important. Now, a lot of us have heard of demons and angels and, spiritual things. But how many of us know that these demons are among us? These demons we're dealing with day and night. So Commander General Yohana is breaking it down with scripture and breaking it down to a T so you can understand that the stuff that sometimes is running through your head might not be your thoughts. That voices in your head might sound like your voice, but you might be dealing with a demon. And the ISUPK will teach you with the scriptures how to know the difference between these demons. Will get in your mind and convince you to do something. The little voice in your head is telling you to do something out of your own lust, out of your own greed, out of your own anger, out of your emotions. That demon will convince you to do something and then jump up out of your body. And then later on, you're like, what did I do? That's not even me. A lot of us is dealing with demons and don't even know it. A lot of us are doing things that later on they regret later on in life and don't know why they did it. So this lecture is going to let you know that demons are among us and they do convince you to do things. But then later on, you end up regretting it. Later on, you're having self-doubts, dealing with anxieties and depression and maybe suicidal thoughts. Sometimes you wonder, why is my girlfriend acting like this? Why is my boyfriend acting so crazy right now? it could be a demon. So everybody tune in. You can watch this lecture on the Chicago channel. It's called the Round Table of Truth. Everybody tune in Chicago, ISUPK Chicago Round Table of Truth podcast and watch this powerful lecture, man. You might need it. Everybody tune into the ISUPK Chicago channel. It's a podcast called the Round Table of Truth. I'm pretty sure I got this lecture up there. And also tune into the podcast as well, man. It's a powerful podcast bringing out the truth with heavy information, man. So make sure you guys tune in and watch this lecture by Commander General Yohana. Shalom.
Oh, wait, son, boy, you the first to go to Frederick Douglass Market Store to join the truth. Anyway, man, I'm proud of you, son. You go in here, you do your thing, you stay focused, all right? Hey, Black children matter.
Wait, no.
Come on, man. Ain't no positive black role models in this joint. Who the heck is knocking on the door? Who is it? We're not stepping no dag on the Romans right now. Not nobody, not no how.
But I sent $10 to Cash App.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate the $10, brother. I know that's all you had. All right. But next time, send 20. Go wait over there in the missions. That's a nice walker, lady. Turn around.
Hey, it's good that you get enrolled in school, because in Delaware, everybody's a target.
No, that ain't it. Because in my hood, most brothers don't make it to the age of 18.
Happy birthday, homie.
For me?
Yeah. Happy birthday, homeboy.
For me?
Yeah. Make a wish.
Man, I hate to see my people like this. Even though we free, we still slaves in the mind. Because either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about being a menace or waiting for admissions to Dr. Umar's Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Leadership Academy.
The devil to try to make you believe that blacks and Hispanics are different because black jobs are brown jobs. What are you saying? Blacks and Hispanics work together. We're the construction workers together. We're the roofers together. We're the yard men together. We're the janitors together. So what the hell do you mean black jobs? Black jobs are brown jobs. What are you talking about? The white man wants you to believe that we're different by now specifying the jobs. You're trying to steal black jobs? Is that the new tool of Satan? He's running out of tools to use. You understand? The white man is the devil, man. We don't give a damn about no jobs. We're going to create our own businesses. And we're going to work ourselves to freedom. And we understand that freedom takes work. And that's what we're doing right now. We're working for freedom right now. We're clocked in. Go ahead.
Give Captain Yatzak a hand. That's exactly what you need to do.
Oh, don't you sad. You know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life. This and that for life.
You don't receive her what? Her planet in the ISUPK. We ain't worried about the coronavirus. How many of us do you see with masks on? Right. How many of us do you see out here afraid with gloves on?
The world turned its back open. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers.
He got soldiers, but I got
Don't sit here and talk shit like what's gonna pop up. What's gonna do this? And this gonna hold the line. Hold the fucking line. Otherwise, get the fuck out of here. Run.
Forgive me for the time that I did and bring his gift. Have your respect to your oppressor.
Nosotros somos una nación. Nosotros somos la misma gente. Nosotros.
Mundo sepa que nuestros hermanos negros y hermanos moranos ya no estarán separados, pero se unirán para hacer grandes cosas por todas las 12 tribus pereras de Israel. Juan Yasha'al.
We got Officer Kwadasha Young, man, who is the camp leader of Minneapolis, man, Minnesota. Did I have that right or I had it wrong?
Everybody says Minneapolis because of Indianapolis. Indianapolis is how you say that, but in Minnesota you say Minneapolis.
Minneapolis,
Minnesota.
Okay, man. You know, something that you told me, which was heavy, like you were saying how, you were showing me how like the program that you have where you teach children with autism. And it was so fascinating what you was telling me because you were saying how a lot of these kids, they were saying that are unteachable. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Some of the teachers came to me and they were amazed because they said, you know, some of these kids that they're teaching, they say, hey, we can't teach them, you know, basic math, basic reading, basic, you know, comprehension things. And they was amazed because they come in my drum class and they're able to learn these elaborate beats and sounds, and they're able to communicate with me through these drums in a way that they didn't believe was possible. So yeah.
And what's so heavy about it is like I see how like the children take to the way that you teach them, the elements of you know of the drums that you teach them, the message that you're teaching them in it, which is like you said, respect.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, you said it was like an acronym for the word drum.
So what the acronym in my drum class, the acronym for drum in my drum class, the D stands for discipline. You know, you have to be disciplined in everything you do. You know, play when you're supposed to, don't play when you're not. All right. The R stands for respect. You know, respect each other, respect the drum. It's an instrument, and respect what we're doing, respect the space. And then the U stands for unity. We got to be together. We have to play together. You can't go off doing what you want to do, doing your own thing. We all have to play together. And if we have those three things, discipline, respect, and unity, we get to M, which is music, and we'll make some beautiful music.
Right.
And that's the acronym for my drum class, and all the kids gravitate to it, and they understand it, and we make it happen.
I think it's dope what you're doing because, you know, like under the spirit of the Lord and what Commander General Yohana taught us in this truth is, you know, and we're able to go out and we are able to branch out and teach children, you know, and go out into the communities and, you know, do food giveaways and really be that pillar in the community that can help our people. And what you're doing is so honorable because you're doing it at the level where, you know, of children to where you could teach them up and show them different things that, you know, will get them in a right space. And I think that that's like dope. And a lot of people don't know about this type of stuff because we don't bring it out all the time. You know what I mean? But what you're doing is just amazing. And I just wanted to really just shed some light on it.
Hey, man, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate your kind words. You know what I'm saying? I give all the glory to the Most High, Christ. You know what I'm saying? For giving me enabling me to have this opportunity. Thank you to Commander General Yohana and ISUPK for giving me the discipline to teach such an activity and do the work of the Lord and be able to push the word of the Lord in every aspect of life.
Let me ask you this real quick. So you said they said that these children with autism were unteachable, and you went in there and taught them.
Hey, you said like that, like yes. Some of the teachers I've had, many of the teachers that come to my classes, they say, "Hey, I'm having trouble. I can't teach them. I've been having real issues. I would never have expected them to learn these things." And this video, was given to me. I had this video that was made and presented to me by the teachers. Because they were so amazed by the work, they put a whole video together and gave it to me and said, "Hey, we really appreciate what you're doing. We couldn't believe that these children could do this, and we wanted to show their parents, and we wanted to show the world what they're capable of through what you're doing." And so
that's I don't mean to cuss, man, but that's fucking dope. Which is
Nobody tell you crap. You know why? Because I never saw him before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General Yohana, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he made man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
You don't need a black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
Usually this microphone is tied to the frame. Okay. Let me know when we back up.
To be controversial.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 1. Put the ones up if you hear me. 1 1. Give me ones if you can hear me.
Yeah, they're saying there's no sound.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
we up now, sir. We got ones down, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. The water, fam. The water. So, like I said, fam, we're going to vote on these stories. But, fam, you got to consider story number 17. Go check the list. Please consider story number 17. We about to jump all in. Y'all run the votes. All right, we got the ones in the building. Good looking out, everybody. Everybody hearing us in the game. Real strong. ISUPK.com is the website. Commander General Yohana, man, hanging with you. Heavy hitters in the building. officers on deck. Adolfo's put me down with 17. Good looking out. The Andrea, yes, 17. She put all her votes in one time. She put like 10 stories in one shot. All right. 17 on the deck. I appreciate it, fam. I appreciate it. Greg Neal, what's going on, Warrior? 17 hitting all over the board. 17 all over the board, man. Everybody good looking out. Generals, can we get into 17? I had to get 17 off my chest, y'all. You understand? Ricard Ariel said he won number 6. Ricard Ariel. But Ariel, we coming back to you, Hebrew. We got to go look at 17. We got to go look at 17. Let's go give it a shot, fam. Can we? Let's get it in.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Abortions at the DNC.
Brother, the Democratic National Convention has put killing our babies and what else?
Planned Parenthood bus providing no-cost service and vasectomies.
They want to cut your rod off. Muhammad said it's not cutting the rod off. That is just stopping the reproductive. But I think it stops you from getting an erection too, right? No, you function as normal. You just can't supposedly have the baby.
No seed can come out.
No seed could come out. If you dumb enough to let a white man that close to your rod, if something gets sliced the wrong way, you was a dumbass. You know what I mean? Because the Lord, like, we don't know anything beyond this world. Right? Like, what do we know about the grave? Nothing. Just like the scripture said, we don't know nothing. You don't know nothing beyond this dimension. You don't know what goes on in the fourth dimension with the Lord. You have no clue. You ain't been there. You ain't seen it. You ain't been back from it. The only one that been back from it is Yahushua. He's the only one that made it back. So why would you chance your body's ability to reproduce based on something they said? The thing, I'm going to let him read the story because this right here is the heinous, most horrible thing I've heard in a long time. They're not even hiding the killing and the genocide no more. Go ahead, Yediah, please.
Colonel
Let's
Wakan,
run
sir.
with it.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Planned Parenthood has placed reproductive rights front and center at this year's Democratic National Convention in Chicago, and is offering free vasectomies, medications, abortions, and emergency contraceptives to attendees through its mobile health bus.
Are we the only ones that see how way out crazy this is? We the only ones that can see that? Like, to me, this is a bug out to me. Like, who is doing this will show you, boy, we got to be the dumbest people on the face of this earth.
That's right, sir.
They would never get away with this if the Democratic Party was run by all Edomites. And this is specifically for us. Like all of a sudden, they care so much about the poor, so much about the people suffering, that these monsters will turn around and set up mobile vasectomies and mobile abortions, kill those babies. That's crazy, man. Y'all can chime in anytime y'all get ready. This is insane. Please.
If I could, sir, let me tell you something. I'm not going to Commander Julian Hanna a hand, please. And this is, it defies logic as a political party, which lets you know that this has nothing to do with winning an election. Because how is it that the Democrats will have a van that comes down to the Democratic National Convention to give vasectomies to someone who will be predominantly Black and Hispanic, and give abortions to someone who will be predominantly Black and Hispanic, which will mean you are literally cutting off your future voters.
That's right.
If all the Democrat Black people have vasectomies, and have abortions, then where's the next generation of people to vote for the future Kamala Harris? Or the future birth, there won't be any. It doesn't make sense politically to have your constituency not have children. It doesn't make any sense because, of course, if your parents are Democrats, the children will be Democrats. If your parents are Republican, the children will be Republican. But the Democrats want there to be no future voters for the Democrats, which means this is not about politics and voting. The reason that the Democratic Party has mobile vasectomies, which means you're getting that in a van, sir. You're getting an abortion in a van. The reason they're doing that is not because they care about black voters, because they don't, because they're trying to kill them in the van. White people will vote Democrat if you have more abortions. White people are saying they know how to handle the Negro problem.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, can I give you the perfect example, which is where all Negro management comes from? The animal rights people. Go research that. The animal rights came first. The Humane Society for Animals. That was around during slavery. At the end of slavery, they adopted all of the practices that they used to have for animals. They adopted that for black people. That's in Google.
Right.
That's where it all comes from.
Wow.
You know how I know who loves animals? Someone who's saying, spay and neuter your cats. That's an animal lover. If someone gets their cat spayed, neuter, how do they feel about cats?
You're a responsible pet owner.
Shalom. That's a good person. He loves cats. He's making sure that he keeps down the cat population, because if there's too many cats, they can't be cared for. There's not enough food for all of these cats. You know, those pit bulls, they got to be neutered and spayed, because if you keep letting pit bulls make babies, pit bulls will have a terrible life because there's too many of them. If I love dogs, I'm going to make sure to get my dog spayed and neutered. White people will vote Democrat if the Democrats can make sure there's not too many black people. And that's why they're doing it. And that's just logic. That's just, that's just 2 + 2. Because I know this much. They win if their plan works. There won't be more black people that can vote for Democrats. That's just logical, right? So then who will vote for Democrats? The white people that like the fact that there's not any more black people. They will vote Democrat.
Yes, sir. If I could, I'm coming right back to you. Elijah Marie said the soul doesn't enter the body until birth. When a baby takes its first breath, abortion is not murder, and God is pro-choice. I really shouldn't even address this because Elijah Marie is a lunatic sitting in their basement, eating off of their inheritance and sniffing fentanyl or some other illicit drug. Elijah Marie, you are an abomination because you've never been to the other side. How in the hell can you tell anybody when the soul enters into the body of the child? How could you say that? How could you know that? You don't know that. But the scriptures clearly stated that it was wrong for Pharaoh to kill and abort the babies of the children of Israel. It was clearly, oh man, I was hoping to get to them, but the moderators kicked them out quick. Big shout out to General Q. Like, how could you say, how the hell could you say that, that baby doesn't have a soul until it comes out? Like, you are a monster, man. And once again, I make this same point all the time. If a woman gets pregnant, it is no longer one, it's 2 of you. And that baby has the same rights that woman has.
That's right, sir.
That baby has the right to live and strive just like you do. When you're born, you got, what do y'all say? You have the right to self-determination, right to liberty and life and the pursuit of happiness. Right? Well, that baby sitting in the womb, that baby don't have a right to pursue getting the nutrients that it deserves to become a human being. Like, you are a monster, and you're teaching black women to be ruthless monsters, just like the scripture said about Leviathan, like just a cold animal, because that's a rough course. And my applause to all the sisters in the hood who didn't go for that. Let me tell y'all something, all right? If I could, please. Can I divert? Can I pivot for a second on this? Coming right back to it. Let me pivot for just a second. I was just talking about this last week with the brothers and sisters. Simone Biles. Simone Biles is a twin. Her and her sisters are adopted by other family members. She was adopted. Simone Biles' mother became a crack addict, a drug addict, and abandoned the two girls. Simone Biles, as we all know, is an Olympic champion. The question came up in the media because her mother's grocery store is poor and broke. And the question came up is, should Simone Biles forgive her mother? Should Simone Biles, help her mother out? And my question is this: what does Simone Biles have to forgive her mother for? Her mother didn't do anything. Simone Biles' mother did absolutely nothing wrong. She's completely and thoroughly innocent. Why do I say that? Because Simone Biles is not the product of her mother. Simone Biles is the product of the CIA. That's who she's the product of. Simone Biles is, the CIA came out and clearly stated, it was brought out in the newspaper in 1997. It was brought out in the newspaper in 1997 that the CIA had spread drugs throughout all the ghettos and poisoned black people and got them addicted. Yeah. Put drugs secretly in their drinks, LSD and other drugs in their drinks, did all kinds of things to get black people strung out on drugs and use drugs for mind control and all that. Now, this came out in 1997, that they had done this in 1996, right? Now, when Simone Biles was 27 years old, tell me what the year is 27 years from today. We're in 2024. She's 27 years old. What year is that?
1997, sir.
1997. The same year it was exposed that the CIA poured drugs in the ghetto. Simone Biles, who escaped her mother's crack addiction, became an Olympic champion, is being an Olympic champion for the same empire that doped and destroyed her mother. And I say to Simone Biles and to all the mothers out there, now go get the real gold medal. You want a gold medal? You win gold medals? Go get the real gold medal. Go to your mother and forgive, because it ain't even a forgiving. Go to your mother and recognize that your mother was a victim of the very government you win gold medals for. And win a gold medal in sisterhood. Win a gold medal in forgiving your family. Win a gold medal for those things. Right. You know how to win gold medals. Go back and get your mother and win a gold medal. Because the government you winning those medals for right now, they're the ones that doped her up and almost took her life away. Not your mother. Her mother don't owe her nothing. Her mother ain't do nothing wrong. Her mother lived her life like every black woman in the ghetto trying to survive and got strung out on blaming black people for other nations' crimes against us, man. Her mother's innocent in that charge. So, Locke, I had to divert on that because it was an issue coming up about it. But back to what we're dealing with. Anybody else want to chime in on it?
Yeah, if I could, General. You know what I mean? What you said was heavy. But I got to check out, Commander Johanna brought us out years ago on my Alpha 21, that this whole abortion thing, the CIA plot to murder and kill black babies, man. That girl, Margaret Sanger, the oppressor's daughter, came up with the whole idea of trying to get rid of black babies, my Alpha 21. And if anybody pushing abortion in 2024, they go back to my Alpha 21 and Margaret Sanger. They got the same agenda as her, and that's to get rid of our babies. You know who else was a proponent of Margaret Sanger and thought and loved her? Your so-called savior, Martin Luther King. He loved Margaret Sanger. You know who else loved her? What's her name? Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton loved Margaret Sanger. All the ones you look up to in that Democratic Party, they somebody, they so smart and they looking out for black people. They are down for the murder of black babies. You understand? And guess who else is down with it? Your pastors, your preachers. You understand? They're the merciless murderers of black babies. Let me give you what the Lord said in the Bible about that. You got give me Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter, real fast. Verses 5 and verse 6 about abortions, man. And these people that supporting abortions. They're pushing it. Sorry,
Don't finish.
Yeah, come on. No, that's it.
You got it already, you die? Go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
Come on, yes, sir. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 5. You sure, sir?
Yeah, please.
Come.
Come, sir, the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
And also those merciless.
Those what?
Merciless.
Meaning you have no mercy. You cruel. You're a tyrant. You don't care about nobody. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. Murderers of children.
What of children?
Murderers.
What of children?
Murderers.
That abortion, you murdering baby. You murdering children. And this is God's holy word, man. How they gonna have you come to the DNC to vote for a so-called politician and then still want to try to kill black babies, Hispanic babies, Native Indian babies, all for a vote? Me? And you tell me this ain't biblical? This is biblical, man. The Lord called you a merciless murderer. I want to reach the soul of every sister who even thought about having an abortion right now. Get it out your head, because God is calling you a merciless murderer. Go ahead.
Khan, and devourers of
No. Go back. Merciless murder of what?
Of children.
Of who?
Of children.
Of them babies in that womb. You killing them babies in the womb. I want you to feel your spirit and your soul for a second. Hopefully it may change your mind. Go ahead.
Khan, and devourers of man's flesh.
Go ahead.
And the feast of blood.
Go ahead.
With their priests.
With their who?
And with their priests.
Who their priests? Your reverends. Your so-called pastors. Your imams. Get an abortion. It's all right. It's a woman's choice to get an abortion. But God with children. And your priests are pushing you to do it. These the cats you say are men of God? Ones who follow? No, they not men of the Lord, man. Yeah, they're going directly against God's word for a vote, for money. You're going to find out, man, all this is done for greed and for money. So that's why it's done. And we the victims. We the cattle. Go ahead, brother.
Khan, sir. Out of the midst of their idolatrous crew.
Of their what crew?
Idolatrous.
The Lord called the whole crew idolatrous, man. And this is a woman who you want to vote for? First of all, she lied about being black, sir. She lied about being and listen, Trump had it right. Trump got him. Trump said, well, first of all, hold on. At first, I knew her and she was an Indian. She was an Indian American. Now all of a sudden she's black. How'd she become black? He had it right. She's East Indian. She ain't a black woman. What the hell's wrong with y'all? Y'all tried that with Obama. You ain't even see that fail? Everybody years later now saying Obama didn't do nothing for us. Obama didn't do this. He didn't do that. You wish I want a round two now? Because she ain't doing nothing for you. And ain't going to do nothing for you. And she ain't even black. Just because she went to a black school don't make you black. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? A lot of black kids go to oppressive schools. That don't make them an oppressor. Are you kidding me? Keep on reading, brother.
Khan. And the parents that killed their own, they killed their own hands, souls.
Mm-hmm.
Destitute.
No, read that again. And the parents that what?
That killed with their own hands, souls, destitute of help.
The Lord is telling you, man, you killing your babies, man. They ain't got no way to stop you from killing them, man. Like you using your own hands to have this done. You going up in there, signing the paper willingly. You go up in there, kill them babies. And the babies can't even protect themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Them babies are destitute of help. They can't stop you from doing it. Maybe the word of the Lord can, but he call you a murderer for having these abortions, man. Maybe this will get into your spirit and soul to stop you from what you're doing, man. Like enough of the games. Listen, it's 2024. Goddamn, so how dumb can we be? Like, how stupid can y'all be to think this is okay? Like, are you kidding me? And you know what's crazy, sir? They not pushing this in nobody else's community but ours. I don't see it pushed toward the East Indians. It ain't pushed toward the Prussians. It ain't pushed to the Arabs or Muslims. It ain't pushed to the Pakistanis that's over here and whoever else is over here, but it's pushed towards us. They're in our communities. Heavy. Maybe this word of the Lord will be enough to stop you when he called you a merciless murderer, called your priests merciless murderers that support this abortion. Maybe that might make you stop for a second and say, you know what? Let me chill. Let me not do this because God is going to be against me.
Please, you die. That was it on that story. All right, fam. Where we going? Where we going? Come on, y'all. Hit me with the vote. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Hit me with the vote. Don't worry, y'all. Rest of the fam gonna make it over to the channel. They working on it now.
Yes, sir.
We advertising and pushing it. All right. DeAndre got 13. 13 on the deck. Just Starting Paint got 6. Baba TV. Everywhere. Every time. Fire. 15. Candace Porter got 3. Y'all got a lot of different stories, huh? Come on with it. 14 back on deck. What's your count? What's your count, Marah? 14. 1. 1. 2 for 6. Ricari, y'all got 6. Kaana got 6 as well.
3 for 6, sir. 1 for 20, 1 for 14, 1 for 3.
4 for 6.
5 for 6.
6 it is. 6 it is. Let's go.
Conor Wakan, sir. Almost passed out. Chicago cop caught choking handcuffed boy in front of training recruit on body cam footage reassigned.
In front of a training recruit. Give us some more. Where's this at?
Chicago. The Chicago Police Department reassigned an officer caught on body cam footage choking a handcuffed boy who was suffering a mental health crisis.
You got video footage of it? Let me know. Go ahead, Al.
Conor Wakan, sir. Conor Wakan. It says the cops' reassignment came after the city's administrator for civilian office police accountability called for his superiors to strip him of his official police duties, the Chicago Sun-Times reported.
Go ahead.
The Oversight Agency Administrator, Andrea Christian.
And you say Chicago? They just killed a cop in Chicago a couple of days ago. They just shot a cop and killed him in Chicago. Go ahead.
Conor Khan stated in a July 15th letter to the police superintendent that the cop used deadly force on a boy after he was dispatched to an incident on June 27th in the 47th block of South Cottage Grove. According to Christian's letter obtained by the Chicago Sun-Times, the officer went to the scene with a new officer he was training. The details of the police call weren't released to the Sun-Times, but the officers arrived. They encountered the boy and 2 other individuals. At some point, the cop in charge pulled out his gun and pressed it to the boy's back. He backed off. He backed off after the boy told him, "Blow my brains out." Christian letter states. The officer then pinned the boy to the ground and pressed his fist on the boy's neck after a struggle ensued. According to Christian's letter, the body cam footage showed the boy making gurgling sounds, gargling sounds, clawing at the training officer's fist, gasping for air, and telling the cop, "I can't breathe." The boy later told the police oversight civilian agency that he could hear ringing in his ears and almost passed out during the struggle. After the boy was restrained, he was handcuffed and placed in the back of a police vehicle. He was left there without supervision for nearly a half hour. During that time, he moved his cuffs to his hand. He moved his cuffed hands to the front of his body, grabbed it.
So he must have put his legs through his arms and got his hands in front of him while he was in the van.
Conor McComm. It says after the boy was restrained, he was handcuffed and placed in the back of a police vehicle. He was left there for nearly a half hour. He moved his cuffed hands to the front of his body, grabbed a pocket knife from his pants front pocket, cut the cable to the police car's camera, Then he used a seatbelt to strangle him.
This cat was Houdini. That was it. Oh my God. I guess the cop figured that justified him to grab him by the neck with them handcuffs and threaten him with death to try to stop him from continuing to get the hell up out of there. That was a little crazy right there.
You know, if I could, sir, like that proves the point that a lot of these cops, when that adrenaline hit them, that they ain't trained enough to. Okay, you got to be trained enough to be able to, if you got somebody you're dealing with, say, and this, I'm just going to not talk about the kid, him being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You got to search the cat. You got to be able to search the cat. You know what I mean? And I know from experience that if you go into the next slave, if you going out there, you got your head messed up, you gonna miss stuff like that. I did it. I ain't gonna fraud. I let something happen. Caught a cat. I missed the whole daggone gun in a small of a bag, sir. I missed it. Cat came back and told me, yeah, he the one with the gun. I said, who? He said, him in your car. I said, what? I said, Matt stashed him in the car, and I found the gun. But it happened because my head wasn't right, and I realized that. I knew that. That's how I know these cats right now that's doing these things. They head not right. Now, you got to take psychological exams to become a police officer. You got to pass the psych test, right? I think they should start giving more psych tests throughout the duration of their career to make sure these cats is right. You know what I mean? They going to have to. So this is getting to be a little bit too much. How old is this kid?
And if I could, that's why really policing does not work at all. Like, that's why in Christ's kingdom, it ain't going to be no police department. In Christ's king, it's going to be the people. If you commit a crime in some city or town, that city or town coming to get you.
Mm-hmm.
Set you up, bring you before the judges. The judges is going to examine the situation. And if you found guilty, them Levites going to put you, well, now, whomever the priests are, because all the tribes can be priests now. You're going to be a nation of priests. You're going to be snatched up before them priests that's in charge, and you're going to get put to death. The only people that could police any people are people whose job it is to be dedicated to the well-being of those people. Outside, and that only comes from the Lord. Every heathen around the world got police departments in their country. And those police departments brutalize their very people. And in our country, not whatever nation the cops come from, they brutalize us. They beat the hell out of us. They brutalize the hell out of us. And let me tell you something. That is because the way a nation, the way Christ set up a nation is the way the Lord set up the nation. Those Levites were in charge. And them Levites being in charge, their job was to take care of that nation. And that's why the Lord said that you will tithe them. You're going to make them pay 10%. Why? Because you have to be funded to do nothing else but to take care of these people. And it's exactly what Christ did with Peter and the 12. He reestablished the priesthood with Peter and the 12 and said, you ain't going to do nothing. You ain't going to even fish. You ain't going to do nothing. And remember when Peter came back, when they had a major problem with feeding a whole portion of the nation, they came to Peter and them and said, man, these people over here, they ain't been getting fed. They starving over there. There's all the food coming in from this side and they ain't making it to them. Peter said, we should not come up off these tables. We're going to stay praying and fasting for this nation. But get you some brothers that's strong enough in the spirit that'll care about these people and put them in charge to go ahead and feed these people. And they said when them brothers got in charge, the entire nation of Israel grew and blew up. And the reason it blew up is because them brothers cared about those people. First of all, you can't put nobody in charge that don't care about the people. That's right, sir. Number one. And then number two, they got to be governed by the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, or they end up betwixt at how to deal with the situation. And then on top of that, the governing body has to be a governing body that's willing to balance everything. I'm getting ready to go speak at a rally that we having in New York City in 2 weeks at the New York Cookout. Hope y'all get to come up there to Zara. Y'all got a whole breakdancing thing going on. You understand? The real Olympics of breakdancing coming on. You're going to be bringing that out. It's going to be powerful. and I'm going to speak at this nonviolent conference. But let me tell you something ahead of time right now. Don't bring me your police officer to try to help him understand what to do about stopping violence if you don't bring me your economic minister also. Why do I say that? Because if you can't fit the economics with the criminality, then you're not even starting on page 1. Go to any country in the world. Go to the poorest area in that country, and I can guarantee you, you're going to find violence. Am I wrong? You're going to find violence in that area. Why? Because violence comes with crime. Crime comes with poverty.
Yes, sir.
Lack thereof. You cut off the people in a city, and all the money goes to a few people in the city, then I guarantee you, you need police because you're going to have crime. Because you're telling people to not pursue their natural instinct to try to better themselves. You're going to say, you starve and be poor. Like, remember Bill Cosby came out real quick and told everybody, go in there and flip burgers and be the best burger flipper you can. Like, that's a ridiculous statement when you live in a, $10 million mansion. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke to say that. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm just talking in a can. Like, that's ridiculous to say. I can stop the violence in New York City tomorrow. I can wake up tomorrow and there'll be a rapid drop in violence in the city of New York City. But you better bring me your economic minister as well. And you better be able to sit down and say why billions of dollars is being corruptly given to politicians for other people to come in and rob these people to death. You better be ready to answer those questions. Like, stopping violence ain't hard if you're willing to do what it takes to stop violence. You got to stop criminals, not the criminals on the street. You got to stop the criminals that's allowing other criminals to rob the people that's on the street.
Yes, sir.
If you don't willing to do that, you're not really serious about stopping any kind of crime.
Yes, sir.
And the same applies to this situation here as well.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to stop brothers from going through this, you're gonna have to give them a piece of the pie. Yes, and let me tell you, and that's why all our leaders is horrible. Our leaders are horrible, especially you rotten leaders in them churches, man. You're a rotten bunch of people. You have no care for these people. Like, you gonna be a cop, you gotta have a cop that's like a Levite, a cop that's like a priest. Like, that's who should be the cop. The guy that's willing to cut your head off, or the guy that, or in modern times, the guy that's willing to put a bullet in you. That got to be a guy that totally cares about these people, sincerely, not for his own selfish gain, but because he believed in the Most High. And brother, that's what Peter and them did. That's what they had. And that's what the Israelite school of UPK does. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me. It was a time I would have believed you when you say ain't nothing you can do about these criminals. That's a lie. Complete and utter lie. I found, and I got 40 years, I got more experience than most PhDs in social sciences in these streets out here. I got most experience than most of them. And what I found over all these years, that in the heart and soul of damn near every Black, Latino, and Native Indian man is a desire to stand up and be a dignified human being.
That's right,
to
sir.
stand up and finally be the hero of his own making. And you won't allow him to do that. You want him to be a slave of his own making and be happy with being a slave. That's what you want. And that's why this place is an abomination. But we're going to help them out. We're going to help out the mayor. You know what I'm saying? We're going to help them out. We're going to sit down with all them. They bringing all the big heads down. We get the big heads coming up to see us. Now, all they top big shout out to Ashaka Kapon, badass cat man. Okay, that's been working in the annals of these departments and in these stop the violence situations. And brother, we're gonna turn the tide. That's why Black people, Latino people, Native Indians, boy, oh boy, you can change the tide tomorrow. But there are criminals that are going to be upset when you do. There are criminals that you do not see. You can't see them. You never see them. You never see them doing crime, but they are doing crimes against you, and they got to be addressed. And once they're addressed, then guess what? You won't have to be a criminal. You won't have to be a criminal. You won't have to go rob nobody because there's New York City is one of the richest cities in the world. There's no reason for anybody to be hungry or homeless in New York City. It's one of the richest cities in the world. You take a look at them docks and them ports. Y'all saw, like I said, last point, I won't drag on. Y'all saw what happened with down there in Baltimore when that ship hit that bridge. I mentioned this the other night.
Yes, sir.
That ship hit that bridge, brother. Them containers was high as a skyscraper. If it was
Yes,
a
sir.
poor city, wouldn't no people from all over the world send containers into the ports of Baltimore to sell a damn thing? Like, why would you send a container full of goods into Baltimore, seeing how poor Baltimore is? Unless you know something that we don't know.
Right.
That Baltimore is really not poor. That is rich as hell, but that the poor people have to spend everything they have to survive because you're robbing them every way you can.
Yes, sir.
That's the only reason it's that way. Let's change all this, man. Let's change every bit of this garbage, man. And then we'll stop clowns like this cop who all of a sudden got so much righteous indignation because you try to get your goddamn handcuffs on. He got to choke you half to death because you tried to get your handcuffs off. And once again, last point, I know I keep saying last point, but let me tell you, the whole reason that he even thinks this way is because he does not understand why this brother is a criminal. He does, if he even was a criminal. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't, like, you got people on a job with a gun on their hip that don't even know why this job is, why they're necessary. Don't even know the real cause of why they're necessary. It's a joke, but it could be fixed. And hopefully we're going to help them fix it.
Yes, sir. Damn right.
Well, I'm sorry I ran so long.
No, Joe, I think about what you're saying and how you're saying it and what has happened transpired, especially with Officer Sharkapon doing. And it run me back in my head to me. And if you can fix me, then God, you can get these people right and what is going on right now. Like the Lord put something in you, sir, and in General Hyman, General Mayak, and the rest of the generals and officers and captains that's changing this earth right now.
I tell you what's in us. The spirit of your house,
Damn right, sir. Damn right.
The orders of our king. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
And if I could, Haas, brother, if you could give cops in all black cops in all these cities across this country, if you could give them the real tools to fix blacks, Latino, and Native Indians, brother, you have the finest police forces you ever saw. Cops would be turning in crooked cops. You understand? Cops would be turning in crooked cops, all of that. And not only that, it'd be no crime because the people would have. Like, you got they just busted. Did you hear about the ring they just busted in Baltimore yesterday? Brother, they arrested like 30 cops in Baltimore. Wow. 30 cops. They said the cops in Baltimore was running a full-fledged drug dealer stick-up ring. I mean, they said it was sophisticated, using all the high-tech equipment, surveillance, seeing through walls, wiretaps, and meanwhile they doing all this just to find out where the money is. Then they said they bust in, right? Mm-hmm. They scoop out almost all the money out of the bag, and then they start to film it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we found this bag right here with $10,000 in it. Meanwhile, it was $1 million, $10,000 in it. This drug dealer, we got this drug, that, and do the whole video arrest. They said right now, the city of Baltimore got to review 200,000 arrest cases because of these cops. And they said these cops, they just brought it up now. If you can Google this, they just brought it up. Matter of fact, they didn't just arrest them. They talked about it because some of the cops are getting out now after 5, 6, and 7 years in prison. You can go Google it. They now coming out, and that's how many cops they arrested. Like, once again, they're lusting after the money too, because the money is all going to some rich people sitting up. Meanwhile, the city of Baltimore, as poor as it is, gave $89 million to guess what? To the arts. For one of those theaters where they put on operas. In Baltimore, they in there got $89 million. One opera house. so that white people can come in there and sit in there and listen to that bullshit that they be listening to, which is really our music. I don't want to down. It's really our music they done stole. Beethoven, Bach, all of them was brothers. So that was our stuff they stole. But you get my point. Like that's thieves doing that. And if you have thieves at the top robbing the place, what you think the people on the bottom going to do? Try to survive.
Yeah.
Those wretched thieves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you brought one more thing back to my mind. I remember one time, I've never shut my mouth after this one here, sir. The last thing, I think one of the last arrests I had when I was on that slave. It was a robbery, 46 and Mark, and I caught this young cat. And I ran up on him. I realized his actions wasn't right. I know he wasn't a street cat. I got him, and he had a little firearm, General. He was told the story. He had a bullets and backwards. I'm trying to secure the firearm, right? And I'm like, hold on, why is this? And I said, the bullets in the head backwards. I said, do you know what you just did? He had no clue. And then he bust out in tears and said, man, listen, man, I ain't want to do this, man. He said, man, I ain't had no money. I'm poor. I need a job. My baby mom in the house fussing at me about not having no money, no food for the kids. So I'm trying to survive. Man, no job. I can't get a job. And he bust out in tears.
He's a human being. Like even the scriptures. You die, find me the scripture. Y'all, I'm gonna let y'all in right now. It's not gonna cut you off. What you're saying is so heavy. Find me the scripture where the Lord said to not I'm paraphrasing, to not persecute a man for stealing for bread. You know the one I'm talking about, right? Find that scripture for me. Like, God damn it, he's a human being.
Yeah.
And you in the richest country in the world. And let's get something else straight. America owe us for 400 years of slavery. You understand? You owe us for 400 years of slavery. But you walking around like we owe you something. You walking around like you mad that we committing crimes to try to survive. Now, I don't condone no criminal activity. I don't allow nobody in the UPK to commit criminal activity. But you mad at the poor black people who come out of slavery, who you left to die on the streets of this country. You mad because they turn around now and want to try to survive. Even the Lord said not to do that to him. And brother, that's why that brother's led to that. You understand? Okay. That's why he's led to that. And his woman is human too. She's sitting in there with them babies and them building them situation. She's going to react when it's nothing there. It's human. Did you see how them white people acted when that COVID came? They needed them injections. They lost their damn mind. They was up there stealing the injections from the native Indians up there in Canada. They was flying into Canada. Was they not? Down in Brooklyn, they hijacked the entire shipment of vaccines because they were trying to distribute them evenly. And them rich Edomites flew in, headed to Brooklyn, and robbed the entire shipment of vaccine. Ain't nobody speaking about that. The whole truck full of the vaccines, took it back to the suburbs and gave everybody vaccine. Got their own nurses and gave out vaccines. The people in Brooklyn ain't have nothing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, let the Lord level the playing field. Yes, let the Lord give the poor people a shot, which is what's great about God. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, he loves the slaves. He loves to turn the tides on them. He loves for you to be up in power, you understand, doing evil to the Lord's chosen, and he slide right in and move on you, and the next thing you know, you on the run. Your kingdom is going into the toilet bowl, and that's exactly what happened. And it was right for that to happen. So that's how you stop this madness, man, that they've been doing. You got it for me? Read this scripture for me. This is in the Bible. Tell them where you are.
God, the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 30. Men, do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul.
Now, here's the $1 million question. Why does that verse start with the word men? Come on, you die. I know you know. Go ahead.
It starts with men do not despise because we're the ones in charge.
Thank you. The men are the ones who normally, you go up in the city, you go steal something, the men of that city come and get your behind. You understand? America don't want you to be no man. America wants you to damn near be a woman. He don't want you to have the strength to police your own city, when that's exactly what you're supposed to do. We would end crime tomorrow. Everybody would know who the criminals was. And we would be telling them criminals, look, man, there's money to make over here. There's money to make over here. We done got rid of them Edomites from stealing from you here, there, and there. Don't come rob nobody no more. You rob somebody again, we're going to see you on the light pole. And I guarantee you them brothers going to make the right choice and turn around and do what's right, because they're going to be able to survive like they like any other human. The Lord said to the men of the city, don't do what? Real quick, so I can keep reading on.
Men, do not despise.
And he said despise it, meaning you're going to steal punishment, because I believe the next verse say he still pays sevenfold if he get caught. So, but he don't want you to despise this man like he is a vile, filthy thing that you should bring retribution on when he's trying to feed his goddamn self.
Right.
Like, give me a break. That's what's wrong with police. Like, if you put this in men, then when they are in charge, that brother that say, yo, man, look, I don't even know how to use this gun, man. I got the bullets in backwards, man. My wife's complaining. I ain't got no food. You know what I'm saying? I should have thought better. You still gonna make him pay sevenfold. But then you gonna send him home with some bread, with some food. And guess what? That was done in here. That's done in here. Has it not been done? Am I lying?
No.
The UPK has done that in here, and these camps have been doing it, and they just did it this weekend. They was just out all over this country this weekend doing exactly that, not despising the ones that you hate and call a criminal. Instead, they were taking them and feeding their family and clothing their family and having mercy on them, because they know that what's happening to them is not their fault. And that's what you need to know. And brother, that's why, Haas, is the difference between you and those that sit up on that job with that bag. You decided to hear the words of Yahushua, which he bestowed on all of us, especially when he went on that cross and said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Like those things that he did, which was so magnificent, is what made us take away our stony heart and have a heart of compassion and care for the Lord's chosen. That don't mean we any less warriors. We catch you out there the wrong way, you're going to be caught the wrong way, just like you're supposed to be caught the wrong way. But for righteousness' sake, the balance got to be there. I'm done, Salakia. I'm off of it.
Yes, sir.
You died. No, Salakia.
Yeah. What? Say again?
Go for the next
Oh,
story,
yeah.
sir.
Next story, fam. Next story. Let's do it. We're getting through a lot more stories this way, too, by the way. Get me right on my wrong. What we doing? Y'all don't want to vote? I'll pick a story now. Y'all don't want to vote? I'm taking a story. All right, I got 13. DeAndre got 13 on the deck. Don't think I ain't got my favorite stories, too. Go ahead, Murad. You got it. Oh, man. Yep, another for 13. Another for 20. Another for 20. Another for 13. Another for 20.
5 for 13.
Woo, you coming strong with 20 and 13. 20 again.
5 for 20. They tied at 20 and 13.
Say again, tied at 20 and 13. 14 got a couple. 20 or 13, people. Call it 20, 13. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all playing. 20 or 13. 13. 13. 2 more for 13. Where we going, fam? 3 more. 13 got it. 20. You can't. Let's do 13 and 20 since it was so much on both. Y'all with it? Let's do we're gonna do 13 one out first, correct?
Yes, sir.
We'll do 13, then we'll do 20. We'll do 2 back to back since y'all voted for them both. Let's ride.
Sir. Florida man smiled and laughed as he ran over a black woman, then dragged her body on roadside in horrific attack that left her hospitalized.
I told you, brother, when Christ take over this kingdom, every white man over 50 is gonna be suspect. Every single last one of them. Like, what the hell? We got video footage? Let's read a little more, Yadai, please. This is insane.
A road rage victim in Florida says her attacker smiled and laughed as he hit the gas and ran her down with his Jeep, breaking her leg, rib, and pelvis and causing serious internal bleeding.
Dang.
Jamira Holycross is now hospitalized and lucky to be alive, her family said. I think the biggest regret, I think that sticks out to her, that she kept saying that he just smiled and laughed at me as he hit me. She is very traumatized, and just as his image in her head, her aunt Misty Moore told Tampa Bay Times.
Like, black people are not doing that. Like, black people, am I wrong? Black people are not getting in vehicles and randomly running over Edomite. Is that it there? Okay. They are not getting in vehicles just angry at white people and running them the hell over. Like, does in any way in the article does it say why or what happened?
On August 10th, Holy Cross 24 was driving on the US 19 near East Bay Drive with her younger brother and her boyfriend's two toddlers in the car when she noticed a Jeep aggressively tailgating her, according to the local news outlet. Before she could move out of the way, the Jeep suddenly accelerated and rear-ended the bumper of her Volkswagen Jetta, she told authorities.
Said that he rear-ended her.
Colin Wakan.
Okay.
Colin Wakan. Traffic was stopped, and Holy Cross took the opportunity to hop out of the car to inspect the damages. Her mother, Tammy Holy Cross, told news outlets, but the minute she stepped outside her car, Tywin hit the gas, striking her, pinning her between two cars.
Damn.
He then dragged her along the driver's side, according to the arrest report. When he hit the car, she got out because traffic was stopped, and she wanted to look at the damage. He proceeded to look at her, smile and laugh, and hit the gas and ran her over in front of my son and her boyfriend's two children.
Now, West Philly for Life is saying this happened in 2021 in Waukesha, Wisconsin. That sound accurate? Check the date on that. West Philly for Life. Are you saying that's a different story or what? Because Yedaya is saying this just happened. And this happened in Florida. So hit us with the feedback. Or are you saying that's a similar story that happened in a different story? So that happened back in 2021, which show you once again, big shout out to West Philly for Life 1992. Like, once again, like, this is more than one time. You know what I mean? This is more than we show you, man. Like, they hate us out from the womb. These people hate us from the womb, and we are so black people, Latino people, Native Indian people, man. You are living in the complete reincarnation of the slavery of Egypt.
Yeah.
You're living in it right now, and the same hatred they had for us then, they got for us now. You understand? And
Yes,
once
sir.
again, this is why families is what they want to destroy, and why families is everything. Like, this sister and her mother could have used that trained them on how to deal with these Edomites. You understand? You get rear-ended by an Edomite, do not get out the car, or whatever the case might be, depending on the atmosphere. That's what you need brothers for.
Yeah.
So you got a built-in police officer and a built-in man of compassion. That's who should run the city. And Paul backed it up. Get me right on this, man. Did not Paul back this up and say, he that is good with his own household is also
That's exactly
right for running the school. Like, a man that could run his household right, that man could run the school right as well. Now, why would Paul say that? Why would there be a correlation with that? Because that brother that got to run the school got to also have policing powers and powers of mercy. You got to be able to have both. You understand? To lead. And that is exactly what Paul called for, is exactly what Christ called for. Is exactly what them Levites for. Remember, them Levites were sacrificing to the Lord all day, gathering the food and everything in to feed the people. And when it went to time for war, they went and killed everybody.
Yes, sir.
Them Levites slaughtered all, right or wrong. Did tons of slaughter. Like they knew how to balance both. That's what you were going to become as a priest of the Lord. And that's why you're able to do what you do, Hard.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? That takes special skills. Special skills, not special because they was normal among us, but they need to be special. They like special now because they so not a part of the earth. Like this beast put a stranger over you. You understand? Most of the time, not even from your neighborhood. These Edomites ain't even from our neighborhood. They ain't even from among us. But meanwhile, they got to come in, be over us, and it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like normal. And let me tell you one last thing, and I'll get out the way. What's happening to us in all these inner cities is exactly the things that happened in slavery. What happened in slavery? Brutal policing by the taskmaster, brutal poverty by those that rule the economics, hard labor and tough menial jobs like they're giving us today in fast food, no hope, like people in the ghetto live with no hope and no real sense of they're going to get up out of here and change their life. None of that. But yet, listen, what did they have in slavery? Plenty of church. Mm-hmm. You had plenty of church that you could have in slavery. You could have all of that. You could have plenty of liquor. You could have plenty of that. Everything that's going on in the modern day cities today is what went on in slavery, just in a modern day version. And we suffer in the same spiritual thing. And it's why the Lord called it in ancient Egypt captivity this whole time. It was all captivity. It didn't matter whether you was in chains, in bondage, or working a damn job. You were still in captivity because the spirit of this place is in captivity. And now they want you to accept the final solution. Let us cut your men's rods so they can't have no more babies, and let us kill the ones that you already get by mistake. Considered, I guess, by mistake. Let us knock those off. You know what I'm saying? And everything will be wonderful, man. Let me tell you something, Mark. The judgment on this place, woo! When that scripture said, give on to him double, the judgment on this place, brother, is going to be something like you ain't never seen before. Salakia. I yield. Right. More on that. That's it. We're done. All right, y'all. 17, then we're going with, we're going to 20 now. All right. Now, we didn't have no footage on that, just that picture. That was it? Okay, Tuwata. Horrible what happened to the system. I'm gonna let you get this story out too, Salaka. Go ahead.
Saucy Santana's mom, my son was abused, and that made him gay.
Wait, before you even go to Saucy Santana, can I just make one more statement, fam? Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indian people, you better understand something. It is your job to police and fix your nation. Stop acting like little babies, like somebody else got to fix you. You better fix you. You better set your economy the right way. You better stop the crime. They're not going to do it. They're just going to kill you off like rats. Like you don't believe you can domesticate no rats. So what do? You exterminate it, right? You don't believe you can domesticate roaches. You can't get the roaches to line up in 4x4 and march their way to hell up out your house. So you go get a can of Raid and kill them. And that's exactly what they think about you. Which is why you got to be the cockroach that will not be a cockroach. You got to be there. They got to look at you as a cockroach, and you got to be a prince of the Most High.
That's right.
And then they got to lose the fantasy about how much of a degenerate you are, and they got to face the reality that you're the royal seed of God.
That's right, sir.
Right now, they got you acting like a cockroach, so they think, oh, you must be a cockroach. You got to act like something other than that so that you won't be charged with that and that you can stand up to them when they do try to call you that. I'm off of it. So, Locky, let's get to Saucy. Saucy Santana. Amazing story.
Saucy
right is amazing. So, Locky, go ahead. Big shout out to Captain Tazariak. Did a story on it, too. Go ahead. Damn right.
Colonel Concert, Saucy Santana's mom, my son was abused, and that made him gay. LGBTQT plus rapper Saucy Santana is opening up about his childhood trauma, and his mother is claiming that she believes her son is gay because he was abused by a male cousin.
And listen, Muhammad used to say this for years. And most of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to misquote you, but most of the time, child molesters are people that are known in the community. And people know who the bastard is. Am I wrong on that, John? And people know who the bastard is. They know who he is. They know male or female. They know all about it. Looks like his mother knew the whole time. She watched that boy go into the gay life and knew the whole time that this family member was a damn monster. I've heard many stories. I know Muhammad probably heard more than us. Many stories from sisters who been in that situation and know who the hell the bastard is. And sometimes he's still in the neighborhood. He's still at the family reunion and all of that going on. Go ahead, Doc.
I was going to say, Commander General Yohana, what you bring out is so heavy. I remember a special that Chris Rock did where he made a joke about that. And he was like, oh, who the kids with? Uncle Johnny? You know Uncle Johnny is like this. Why are the kids with him? You know how he is. And then he turned to the kid and say, that's what you get for being around Uncle Johnny.
You know what I mean? Like very much like that sister. What's her name? Sexy Red.
Sexy.
Remember not too long ago, they was interviewing her.
That's right.
Come on, you
If
died.
I could, sir, Sexy Red, I was just explaining this to my Red, but a couple of brothers at my slavery. Sexy Red went on Little Yachty's podcast, and she confessed that she was raped. And them brothers was like, yo, can we talk about a shooting or some other shit that happened to you?
I saw the clip and was flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Would show you that they sitting up there, brother. Oh, I can't, brother. We gonna be so happy in the kingdom of heaven because them cats sitting up there, and I ain't blaming them all the way. There's some white Jew, some white so-called Jew somewhere telling them, listen, make sure when you do these interviews, do not talk about A, B, C, and D, and they making sure they don't never discuss A, B, C, and D. So when she brought it up, it's like a no-no. Like they decide which, once again, this is the type of stuff that make me want to lose my damn mind. Like another nation is deciding what we see and feel and think. They deciding what we listen to, we like they creating our culture. They dealing with us like you deal with animals in a pen. You know what I'm saying? You separate some, you bring some back, you do that. Like we're like animals in a pen. And she wanted to bring up something that was real, that would have drawn compassion to us. You understand? And, oh, no, that ain't allowed to happen. That's not allowed to be brought out in the open. I'm sorry you died. Go ahead. Which is crazy. Is there more? Yeah, if we could. Slug, I ran on. I'd be jumping all over it. Slug. Go ahead.
In the new season of Love and Hip Hop, Saucy is seen discussing being abused by our older male cousin. According to say, he was abused from the age of 9 all the way up to the age of 16 by the same male cousin.
I think you might have video on this.
Come on. No.
Oh, we can't play it.
Can I just add one thing? If anybody does get to go see the video, what's amazing in the video also is that they cut her off and got her to change subjects. Well, you know what else was amazing? How well she pivoted off the damn thing. How well she pivoted. And listen, put that picture up on the screen, big, Marat. Let everybody see what happened to a black man. Y'all talking about LGBTQ and all of this. Look what happened to this brother, man. This is how you produce your best LGBTQ from molestation. Some grown man assaulting this child. You can go full screen if you can. Oh, you are full screen, my bad. Yeah, you know, some grown man assaulting this child. And listen, and I mean, the psychological pain this cat must go through, knowing what happened to him and in his victimness, trying to perform in the victimness. I don't know if you could understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That like to try to perform in it is vile, like I can't even explain. It's a vile, vile, horrible thing, like I can't even explain. You understand? And he's trapped into it. He's trapped, and the thing is, here's what's horrible about it as well. Esau is putting money behind it, which means everybody wants success, right or wrong. So you want success, and now Esau make you successful in the pain, in the evil that's been done to you. Damn near right. Like, and I've even heard articles like this where they articles like this and all of that. Nah, man, I ain't buying none of that. You destroyed this brother. Yep. So, Lockie, let me let the experts talk. Go ahead.
You got it.
We off of it?
No, I think you got more to the story. I would
Oh.
What about the video of this interview? Oh, you can't play that.
Oh, we can't.
Okay.
We cut off from it. Okay.
Let me see the time.
Okay.
Tight if you probably have some more. Oh, we got half an hour.
We still got half. All right. It's crazy. And once again, don't tell us why we tell you that so many of these brothers and sisters that's in the LGBTQ community are really victims. You know what I'm saying? And I'm beginning to think the more elaborate they are, the bigger a victim they are. And nobody, once again, in a world that has no mercy and compassion, that'll never get addressed. Just like it wasn't addressed with Sexy Red. Like that, they ain't nobody want to address that. You understand? But the Israelite School of UPK. Like, don't nobody else want to address that kind of behavior and stop that kind of behavior. You know what I'm saying? You want to bring something? Salakia.
Come on.
You want to bring? But same footage. Yeah. Don't jeopardize. If you could, Salakia.
No sweat. So I was gonna say to talk about it and to fix it means that the oppressor gonna stop getting money. Like if we talk about this here and fix them, then now what's the word I'm looking for? Their oppression of us stops. The funds they get going to stop. You know what I mean? For us to fix it. You know what I mean? They don't want to talk about it. That's why they keep cutting everybody off and they bringing this stuff out because they know it got to be addressed and fixed. But if they address it and fix it, they can't get paid no more. Done deal.
I got to add something to what you said, if I could, y'all. So, Lockie, I know I'm running a lot, but I just want to add this. And also, don't charge his mother either. His mother knew it happened and did nothing about it. And you know why? Because a lot of parents are such in a survival mode that they can't bring themselves to fight for that child, which is why you need the Israelite School of UPK. Like, without the truth and the brothers, your parent is trying to pay these bills every week. The last thing they want to do is have to leave the job, go to court, stir up the neighborhood, right or wrong. But it's got to be done. But they don't want to do it because it's going to create a commotion. But it's got to be done or you can't. It's almost impossible to save that child. And that's why you need the priest. You need cops that care. You need cops that have compassion, AKA the men of the city. You need the men of the city to say, nah, no more of this. And listen, that's why it's amazing to hear brothers say, these kids today, man, they don't listen to nobody. They don't listen to nobody because this slave master have taken you out of your job. Of course they don't listen to nobody because they ain't got to listen to you. Listen, wait a minute, if I could, Salaki, I know y'all threw me to this show. Yediah, one more scripture. Give me the scripture where it say, if a parents have a child that will not listen, bring him to the gate so he can be stoned. Like the Most High is exceptionally right. He's exceptionally right. It can't be stopped because we're not here to stop it. UPK, you can't, once again, nothing is better. Kids say this all the time. And this should never have stopped. Kids be like, you don't stop messing with me, I'm going to call my brothers over here. Is that not what go on in the schoolyard? There's certain kids in the schoolyard don't nobody bother because they know they done seen their brothers and they know if you go messing with them, it's going to be a problem. You understand? That should be us always. Like that should go on from a child all the way up to a grown-ass woman down the street. The Edomites riding in that pickup truck should be saying, don't mess with, her brother, this is this city. And they will, you go do that. If she just scream out, brother, you're gonna have 20 guns facing you. Oh, the Edomites know how to behave. Every animal knows how to save its life when it's in danger. You understand? I told you about my man back in the school. When we was coming up together in New York. He had just come home. He did 11 years in prison. He was a drug dealer. Used to sell weed. He was a great officer, right? Used to sell weed. He used to put weed up in his dreadlocks. Back then, the cops didn't know what it was, and he'd have bags of weed all in his dreadlocks. And that's how he transported weed. Made tons of money, but eventually got caught. They served him up 11 years, and he came home, man. And I was like, wow, man, you know what I mean? Like, I know it was real hard up there, man. You know what I mean? And he was like, I tell the story all the time. I tell about it. You know, you're getting up there when you start repeating stories. Huh? Let me tell you. And so I said, man, it must have been hard up, man. 11 years in the pen, man. You was so young and all that. He was like, he told me, he said, General, let me tell you something, Mom. He said, it was the best thing that happened to me. He said, because I was going to be dead. The way I was running and gunning and robbing and stealing and selling dope, I was definitely going to die. He said, she said, them 11 years was the best thing for me. I said, but how you deal with the hardness of the pen? You know what I'm saying? And all that. He said, oh, the pen wasn't no problem, because one thing I had learned early in the pen is that everybody's a badass until the pokey gets you. I said, the pokey? He said, yeah, you know, the ice pick. I said, shalom. Let's go to camp. I said, I don't want to talk about that no more. He was getting comfortable, like he wanted to go shop up and start to tell me the stories. Yeah, man, I was up there, you know, but he was like that. And once again, Esau is an animal. And when the Lord put it on him, I said that to say this, that Esau is an animal. And when the Lord put it on him, brother, he's going to respect the lives of the children of Israel. You understand? When that Pharaoh grabbed his head, brother, because the firstborn was all dead, he understood what he had been doing. He understood the monster that he was up until that point. And sometimes monsters can't tell they monsters until they get what they've been given out. And then they realize they're a goddamn monster. And these Edomites ruling over us, he's that monster. You understand? So back to this brother and his mother, that what they suffered is the condition of this place. And listen, and how vile you have to be to know that this is a child that's been molested, a mother that didn't have the strength to fight both the child molester or the whole world that this kid was falling into. And here you come, let me scoop him up, and you go and use him to make more money. Like, what a horrible existence. You wonder why the suicide rate is so high in this kingdom, man. You understand? And meanwhile, the idiots watch him and are so enamored by him. You're enamored by horrible, horrible psychological and physical abuse on a human being. And if you go see the interview, I mean, you should see his face when his mother's bringing it out. His face looked, I mean, he looked like he had no soul in him. He looked like it would look like it was nothing inside him at that moment. Like at that moment, you knew that everything that comes out of this person is a fabrication, and that the real person inside has been destroyed. Like, to restore him, my God, you gotta end his career. You gotta take him out of all them clothes and all of that. You gotta hope that he ain't been taking them steroids. He got to be going to prayer. He can't come to the UPK, but he got to be in prayer. He got to, you know, ask the Lord, right or wrong, for forgiveness and change his whole entire life. And one day he come back and be, you know, as much as he functionally can be a man. You know what I mean? It's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing to take away a man's manhood and a sister's womanhood. That's the same, just as bad and just as damn evil. Okay. Just as damn evil. Salakia. Anybody? Go ahead, please, you die.
Colonel Khan, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 21. I'm going to start at verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son.
You got a son that want to be a criminal in Christ's kingdom? Shoot, it's going to be worse than in this kingdom. It's going to be worse for that boy. You coming up, you a teenager, you want to get out of pocket. Man, you ain't going to just do what you want to do. I ain't listening to my mom. Boom. I ain't paying my dad. I'm bigger than my dad. Later for that. Boom. I'm out the door. Oh, no. They got remedy for this. Go ahead.
Khan, sir, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother. And that when they have chastised him.
They done checked him now. You better stop doing this. We telling you to do this. You follow what the hell we tell you to do. Go ahead.
Khan will not hearken unto them.
And that's why so many parents today in broken families, get me right, y'all, if I'm off. So many families today in broken families don't have the strength. Like the scriptures say, they wore out the saints. There's a lot of times it looks obvious like you should do something. But the people are so beat to death in this kingdom, they don't always have this. That's why the Lord called for prophets. Like the prophet's going to do it regardless. But my point is being that you ain't listening to them. They got remedy. But in this kingdom, you don't really have no remedy. Your kid acting up and going off and all that, you damn near got to put them out the house because they ain't going to listen. You can't, after you done chastise them, Esau will stop you from handling them like you need to handle. The white man will stop you. Most fathers would go upside his head, beat him to the edge of his life and bring him back. But if you go do that now, you go into jail. He's going to be put in foster care, giving hormone shots, put around a bunch of sodomites. He's going to be open to drugs and selling drugs, and they're going to try to destroy him. You don't have recourse, but you do in the truth. You do in here. Go ahead.
Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him unto the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, this is our son, stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard.
Right. Like that's telling you the character of these cats. Because that's the same thing they do when they break out in the world. They get caught up in the lust of the world. Now here's the thing. Now you can't charge them the same because the whole world is doing this. This cat that we reading about, he going against the whole society. He going against, you know what I'm saying? He going against everything that Joshua established in terms of rules and law and order inside the kingdom of heaven. He going against that. Today it's common, but go ahead, Salaki.
Verse 21. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones.
That's a hell of a punishment. Go ahead.
That he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear.
You ain't gonna have a penitentiary full of criminals that refuse to go by the right orders. You understand? Making military uniforms, coming back out on the street doing the same crime. You're gonna rehabilitate them before they even get to that point. And you ain't gonna rob the city, so they ain't got a way to survive either. That's why our inheritance was everything to us. Because you had, regardless of how hard times you fell on hard times, you always had your land and your family's land to go back to. Just the way Esau got it now. Some people in the South still got it like that. But the people in the North ain't got squat most of the time. You might have a little piece of house that you could hand down. But you're supposed to have a piece of land that everybody know that's your land. From generations, they supposed to know that's your land. You ain't supposed to have to beg nobody for no food or nothing because you got land.
Right.
How you gonna be on the earth and the food come out the ground and you ain't got no ground? Does that make any sense? That don't make any sense. You understand? That makes no sense. That's the life of a bird. A bird got to make his nest up in high because he can't farm. You ain't no goddamn bird. You're a man or a woman on the earth. You're supposed to have an inheritance and be able to go back to it. And then there's a scripture. I ain't going to go too far. I know I'm running. But there's a scripture also that tells you that if your brother lose his land or fall into poverty and have to sell that land to go back and buy it back, does it not? Y'all know the law.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
You understand? It say, go get it back. Don't you let it out, leave it out there. He ain't got no inheritance. Go get it back. And that's also why if a brother died, the Lord said that for his brother to get with his wife and bring in more children. Why? Because that child got a whole inheritance coming. He got a whole land and everything to feed his family. Like it's a whole. The Lord was perfect in the way He set us up. Boy, we blew the game. You understand? By allowing that to go. You got more in that verse? You understand? We blew the game by doing that. The Lord said, "Go ahead and put him to death if he don't, because ain't gonna be no out of orderness in the kingdom of heaven. It's gonna be nothing but order. Right now, we putting the nation back together. But in that kingdom, ain't gonna be no. You ain't gonna have to be no cop then, huh? You're gonna be the cop, but you ain't gonna have to be no cop because everybody gonna be a cop. And if I could, last point, I'm getting up off it. And to go back to my first point, them brothers that's on that say, every brother that say these kids don't listen to nobody no more. That's because those brothers are not organized to have the power that they should have to make those kids do what they want to do. Then now you got no criminal. And why is it so beautiful? Because the heathen can always use you when you're a criminal, man. Salakia, I had to give y'all the whole nation in a nutshell. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Salakia. My bad. Listen, West Philly for life. You are 1992. You a man after my own heart. I just wanted to add that. I'm done. We off of it? You die? Oh, go ahead, Marat, please.
Salakia, so we had two questions, if I may.
Please.
The first one, the brother asked. He said, "What does glutton mean?"
General,
a glutton is someone whose their own self-desires matter more than the nation or their community. You have to have everything. You can't share. That's a glutton. And a wine bibber is an alcoholic who has to drink all the alcohol, regardless of the effect it has on his family, on his children, or in his community. A glutton is someone like Donald Trump or these rich men that rule this place. They have to have all the money, all the land, all the farms, all the food, everything. They're gluttons. Because they're gluttons, they steal your land and steal your farm and steal your food and steal your woman. That's a glutton. Someone that never gets enough. So, give it up.
If I may, so the second question was, what was the precept that we just read?
Oh, you died?
Deuteronomy 21, 18 to 21.
Deuteronomy 21 and 18. All down to 21.
All right. That's it on that.
We ask another question for the number.
Oh, no, you got another question?
No, I mean for the number. I mean.
Oh, we're doing it again. We voting again. All right, let's hit that drum roll on it, y'all. Let's get it again. What story we going to, fam? Where we going? Where we going? What stories? What stories? Number one, West Philly for Life said number one. Recall Ariel, number one. We going in. Number one, 2 for number one. Y'all look like y'all getting tired. You mean tell me we up here sweating and y'all don't even want to vote? We sweating like crazy. Y'all don't even want to vote. 3 for number 9, 3 for 1, Morale. Come on, y'all. Come on. Number nine swinging in it. Number one. I think y'all be battling each other. Number one. Another one. Another 9. We'll do 1 and 9. 1 and 9, Morale. 1 and 9, fam. 1 and 9 it is. We'll do 1, then we'll do 9. Right? Because 1 won out, 9 ran second. 1 and 9. 1 and 9. All right. Let's ride.
Khan, sir. U.S. judge taken off bench for handcuffing schoolgirl who fell asleep on class trip.
Like you see, now this is perfectly on what we just finished saying. Read some more, you die. I don't want to jump in on it. Like this is exactly what we said. Now this is a judge. This is a judge. Go ahead,
Khan, a judge in the United States who handcuffed a schoolgirl for falling asleep during a class trip to his courtroom has been temporarily taken off the bench. District Court Judge Kenneth King forced a 15-year-old girl to wear handcuffs and a jail uniform during the school excursion
Damn.
to the 36th District Court in Detroit.
Now remember, now they doing the school excursion to the court, and this bastard puts her in handcuffs and a jail uniform simply because she falls asleep at 15. You want to read some more?
That's
the judge there. Listen, and I listen. I would bet. I would put a G on the bet that he goes to church on Sunday. I'd put a stack on it.
Yeah.
Please. I'd put a stack on it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The judge said that he did not like Ava Goodman's attitude and that he wanted to show her how you are to conduct yourself in a courtroom. After the girl woke up from her nap, Judge King told Ava, you sleep at home in your bed, not in court. He asked our visitors on the trip to vote on whether she should be sent to a juvenile detention center. He then decided to have her handcuffed and dressed in a jail uniform before releasing her.
They monsters. Like that's who's sitting up over the judge. Some old some old real Slovakian, some old puffed up piece of garbage who thinks they are, you know what I'm saying? You know, you can't come in their court like this. Like you can't come in their court and fall asleep. You're 15 years old with some real piece of Christian garbage. This is the problem with us. This is why they're having mobile abortion clinics at the National Democratic Convention, because it's filled with Christians. It's filled with Christians. You got more on the story on it? Or is that it on the story? It's pretty much in it. Anybody else want to chime in on it?
Yeah, General, if I could, sir.
Please.
I know the scriptures say that, our leaders didn't go down to the gaps and the hedges. They put a hedge around us in the book of Ezekiel, the 13th chapter. Like, what if this young sister was just tired, sir? Like, what if he just might have been tired? She could have been asleep. Who knows? It could have been anything. Why put in her mind? We got enough of our kids now getting locked up, getting incarcerated. Why even do that to her? And then make her, against her will, change her clothes and put on a institutionalized uniform? Are you kidding me? And that's a crime.
That's a crime.
That's a crime.
And I heard, tell me if I'm wrong, but I heard they can do all this in these courts. Like once you in the court with the judge, he basically got all the power.
That's correct. They got a judicial review board, which is the only reason he gets penalized after it happens.
Got you.
But when you're in there, he can tape your mouth up.
Whatever he wants to do.
He can do anything he wants to do it to you in there.
Which is ridiculous. And listen, which shows you even the guards had the same mentality. Like they went along with the damn thing. Man, just another example of why these people should not be the ones that's the cops. They should not be the ones that's the judge. You understand? Listen, you want to hear a real courtroom? Go get in one of them councils with General Muhammad.
General
Shalmar, General Q. You're gonna hear a real, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to start recording them and taking some of them tapes and putting them out, but I said, nah, these is councils, I can't do it. But some of them councils, brother, is you see the Lord working in everything that they doing to bring the body together. You know what I mean? You see them trying to fix the problems and get the many common problems that's in our community, right or wrong. And I know it got to be an education for y'all to be able to see, these things and experience them. It's like you get a grasp about our people that most people don't get, right or wrong. God, that need to be a whole interview. Somebody need to sit down and do an interview with you over the whole council thing. You know what I'm saying? Give it up, General Muhammad. It need to be a whole interview over that joint. You know what I'm saying? It would be heavy because y'all seeing justice that's way better than this clown. Look at this bald-headed clown sitting up in here abominating all the Lord's law and sitting up there so self-centered. And listen, and he's so evil to do it because probably nobody respects him in that court. You know what I'm saying? You want to really see how it's done. They need to come get a lesson down in the UPK. Come sit down there and listen to his cases. You You know what I mean? And the way Shalimar and Q getting it now, I mean, it's getting like in a minute. I'm waiting 1 minute to hear the docket number 36. Wait him and Q. Like they Miami come in like, oh, why are we here, Q? Well, we have case number such and such, so and so. They brother, and it's solving problems without having to go to Esau's court. And brother, and I can't wait till it expand to the point where ain't nobody going to Esau court. Like all this is the Lord doing. All this is taking us out of this world. All this is bringing us back to our own because they are incompetent to do this. Like we would never think to try to teach this kid a lesson by taking her in the back and handcuffing her and stripping her down and putting her in an orange uniform just because she falls asleep. And we would never consider nothing like that. But you got people who don't care about the Lord's people, or more, they hate the Lord's people. Like they hate black people. Everybody wants black people, Latinos and Native Indians, to act right, to stop acting wrong. Well, stop being unjust to them.
Right.
And we had better make sure that we never blame black people and Latino people anymore. Now that all the facts are in, we realize they ain't did nothing compared to what they're doing. You know how many black people is that went through his court that's probably in prison now, innocent? You know how many unjust laws is on the books by these Edomites to do harm to blacks and Latinos, which he is enforcing? Could you imagine? And on top of that, his ego got to be satisfied when he's sitting in his courtroom so some child can't fall asleep. Something that every teenager does every day at 3 o'clock. Across the world. But not in here. You know, man. Good point, Obed. Good point. Obed said we were made to reprove them. So they try to do that to us. Good point. You know, man. That's it on that. We still got room for one more. Oh, come on, man. Let's get one more. Did we have 2 stories on this last one? Give me that last story, man. We're going to wrap it up with this one.
Come, sir. You trying to turn us into crabs in a barrel. Marlon Wayans exposed DJ Vlad's silly negotiating tactics and online spec.
Read some more. This is an interesting story.
Come,
I'll tell you why. Go ahead.
Come, sir. Comedian Marlon Wayans knows his worth and isn't accepting anything less, regardless of what culture vultures might think. However, as a member of one of Hollywood's most talented families, he has recently been thrust into a public back and forth with the popular street journalist DJ Vlad over his value, demanding $40,000 and 30% of all future revenue for appearing on Vlad's platform.
Now, if I could.
You know, Vlad is so-called, he a small hat.
Yeah, he a small hat. And he got a huge platform off of black people's music. You understand? He been interviewing black people, been on the radio and all of that. But if I could, did y'all want to chime in? If I could, real quick. Here's what's so heinous about him and all of these small hats. Like Wayans asking for $40,000 for an interview was an insult to him. When meanwhile, actors at his same caliber easily get 40, 50,000 for an interview. But because this is a black man, you understand, he's insulted that a black man, like no matter what, you're still a nigger to him. Much as he try to pretend to be in the black community and black music and all that, you're still a nigger to him. And not only that, here's why he's such a punk, that little piece of that worm. Because he interviews every kind of gangster rapper and criminal there is. He don't never threaten none of them or out them on how much they ask. You ain't never heard him say about these criminals and gangsters what they ask for. Why? Because he knows that for their money and their career coming out that hood, that he will disappear. But because this Wayans is a regular Jake, he gonna come and out him when this cat, even though I don't particularly like this dude, but this cat, his family done made millions off of movies. Am I wrong?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You understand? So this piece of garbage been culture vulturing us for many, many years. And it's a shame that he was able to do it. It was a shame that there wasn't a, you know what I'm saying again, General?
No, I didn't say anything.
I was gonna say it's a shame that it wasn't a brother able to sit in that seat and to, do the same thing he did and be as successful at it as he did. And he admitted on one of his shows how he was financed from the small hats to do this show in Hollywood. Like this show came up because they backed that show. Salaki, go ahead, you done. You know what I'm saying? Like his show isn't some generically famous show. They put money behind this show because the small hats want. There's other rumors about him too, that he was getting confessions out of them stories.
I heard.
And utilizing them in different, nobody knows if it's true or not. How you know it's true for a fact?
Khan, sir. He had a specific interview with a rapper named Taxstone, and they used his 2 interviews with Taxstone to put him away. Same thing with another rapper in Philly, AR Ab, and countless others. Like it's been exposed.
But you can't, that doesn't mean he works for them. Well, you was gonna say something, General?
Well, the cat that killed Tupac did an interview on his show. They used that footage in court, and then he celebrated the fact that he was instrumental in finding Tupac's killer. That much.
He wanted the accolade. He wanted to say, "Look, I saved it. I found the Tupac's killer, y'all." Correct. Piece of garbage, man. You know what I'm saying? Piece of garbage. He thought the black community was going to turn on Wayans like he was acting so much. Black community was like, well, pay him, Jew boy. That's how they was acting.
And of course, sir, no one ever asked him, how much do you get from YouTube?
Yes.
That's too much.
Right.
Any professional can ask for whatever they want. Yes. A plumber can say, I charge $500 an hour.
Yeah.
A lawyer can charge $1 million. If you're a professional, you're allowed to ask for whatever you think you can get. That's capitalism, right? People can turn you down. They can say you're too high, but it's never wrong to ask for whatever you want. Like I'm sure Vlad negotiates with YouTube, whatever he wants. Maybe someone should find out how much he gets for getting other people to confess to crimes.
And how much he get to perform, to show up.
Yeah, like he's sitting there. He's sitting there getting you to talk about your crime. How much does he get for that?
Right.
Maybe we'll all say that's too much.
Right.
He shouldn't be getting that. But you can ask for what the hell ever you want. That's capitalism.
Right. And it was slimy. It was a real slime ball thing to target him and try to out him like he was so wrong for asking for what he asked for. It was a real slime ball move, which is what you would expect from them.
And this piece of garbage, he always hates the UPK. I mean, he countlessly always talks about us and how we're at Times Square, dressed like superheroes. Him and some cat named Math Alpha. They do some video just talking about us. Vlad talking about us and how terrible we are. You can't stand us. Ask Captain Desire.
I did not notice this cat walking around talking about us.
Come to one come.
Okay. Piece of garbage. It's 11:02, people. We got to get ready to get up out of here, man. Hey, join us in New York City in 2 weeks for the New York City Cookout, man. Flyers coming up by Marat in about 2 seconds. Check it out, y'all. Support the work we doing all over the country. Hey, listen, you know what I'm going to say. Go to ISUPK.com, pay your tithes, and support this truth, bringing them funds into this school, man. I want to thank the heavy hitters in the building with me. General Muhammad, give it up. General Hazayan, give it up. Officer Marat, Officer Yediah, Officer Akbar, Officer Mathamyam in the building with us, and all the way from South Carolina, Officer Kazak Shapar and his wonderful wife, Ahaba Banyamya Banyasha Allah, in the building. See y'all next time live on the UPK fam. Shalom.
who speech, man. I'll break it down right quick.
Don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine, big glow. I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back